You know how we do things right here at this time of the day, always bringing you the hottest and the juiciest entertainment stories. This is Tea Time, and you're welcome to the program. I'm Tokumbo Taiwo, and I'm here in the studio as usual with my regular crew, Elsie Godwin, Ife Oshinkeye, and Ife Omai. Hello, people.
Hi.
What's good, bro?
Okay, let's quickly move on to today's stories because it's a fantastic lineup, as we've got some borderline bizarre headlines. All that with all of the views and analysis right here, right now. And we're starting with funny Toheeb, who has been arrested by police and accused of internet fraud, shall I say. Okay, so who wants to go first?
I think we should start with you since you're such a big fan of funny Toheeb.
I'm such a big fan?
Yes.
So why don't you want to admit? You can admit publicly that you like him a lot.
Funny Toheeb?
Yes, you've always followed him and you've
You
always said
made me know
I
funny
talk about
Toheeb.
him. Yes,
Yeah,
I talk about
you
him.
know
Are you a big fan or
Hold on.
not? I agree to
Hold
be
on,
a
yes.
big fan.
You made me know funny Toheeb.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You're not a fan.
I don't think
you
I've
follow
seen
him
funny.
now on social
follow,
media.
Follow funny Toheeb, really?
Guys, let's get back to this story. Omai, let's start with you.
They said you should start.
Yeah,
That's
he's
what I'm
always
saying.
he's a big fan, so yeah.
Okay, do you guys want us to move on, or
How
you
do you
guys?
feel about funny
I don't have anything to say. Thank you.
But being a fan, how do you feel about?
No, I'm not a fan. Thank you very much.
You're not a fan. You're always the one pointing
You're
our
certainly
attention
not a
to.
fan.
I'm not I've never been a fan. I just
You're
find
always
him
saying
funny. Like his
and
name,
creative.
funny
You say he's creative. He
Me?
does.
When?
But
That's
wow.
what I'm saying. I find him funny,
Being
but I'm not
funny
a
is
fan.
You're
Exactly.
such a
creative
Judas
enough.
right now.
No.
Make you
There's so
laugh.
many people I find funny. In fact, you know how funny has
give it
different
Being funny
connotations.
funny people.
Doesn't necessarily.
Requires creativity.
Yes, if it requires creativity, that doesn't mean I have to like you.
So you don't like funny
Let's
Toheeb?
not argue
just said
this,
so.
guys.
Anyways, the caption was funny when he said it's not funny. I think that was the funny part of his caption. And I don't know, aside funny Toheeb, there's another issue yesterday of someone who was being searched, his laptop by the police, and he was wondering when did they start searching laptop this, I don't know, but we've said this over and over again, and it seems like we're over chanting, over talking. I think the police should understand their job. SARS or whatever they are, they should understand their own job
Do they
too.
understand it? Are they being
Stop.
trained?
When you, I mean, we've said it before. They should train them a bit. When you see iPhone, it doesn't mean Yahoo. You see laptop, it doesn't. I mean, there's so many digital jobs that requires you doing everything you have to do on your laptop and your phone, and you don't even need to leave your house, right?
Online.
Okay,
I'm
guys,
tired, I
before
beg.
we wrap up on this, let's quickly go on a break. Yes, let's quickly go on a break. When we return, we've got some more stories, and we'll be wrapping up on the Toheeb story. We'll be right back. You're watching Plus TV Africa, and this is Tea Time.
I loved the energy when I came in here. It was so positive. I was like, I can't live here.
My real names are Akbofio Obo, Akborobo Memere.
I think my father is a comedian because most times when he calls me, he's like, yo, make sure you use condom, you know, them girls out there.
So are you telling me I should have shot my shots?
Ife, you are my younger brother. Age is nothing but a number. What? I'm a vampire.
I believe in equal rights for women. And I also believe that a man is the head of the house. So we need to draw our limits somewhere. Feels so good. Now can I do my jam now?
Yeah, you can.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were discussing funny Toheeb, and we're just about to round up. Who wants to go last? Yes, go on.
You didn't want to go last?
Sorry?
That didn't come out right.
Such a big
Please just make your point.
Okay. All right. So about funny Toheeb, like Elsie said, having a good phone, driving a good car, having a laptop, having gadgets, having all those fancy things of life, the beautiful things of life which we're all entitled to, doesn't make us criminals.
Sorry to cut you. These days, those days are not just fancy anymore. They are a necessity.
Yeah, yeah. So, but they see it as fancy because they can afford it. It's a necessity to you because it's in your line of business, and it's in the line of a lot of people's business. But the police,
layman.
the layman, even the police, I think if they are beginning to use their modern technology and those facilities to actually get to the bottom of some cases. Maybe we won't have the case of people not being tried and being in prison for so many years. No forensic evidence,
I mean, if you
nothing
walk into
like that.
a police station and you see like a 250-gram system sitting and they are chilling with it and working and making things happen, I think they will understand the process and the way they
Have you ever seen any computer in the police station?
Just saying.
Have you ever?
I think Omar has some very interesting views. Yes, you were just about to react now.
I think my biggest problem isn't them profiling people, but it's the measures that you take. What is there a law? Is there a system in this country for the police? Because it looks like it's whoever you meet. Is what they feel like serving you is what you get. Is there a law that stipulates that you're allowed to start going through people's phones?
There's actually a law that says they don't have the rights to go through your phone.
So then what's stopping them? What is the procedure for that? Every day there's one story or the other, and like someone on Twitter said, is it until it gets to these rich people's kids before something is done? We just keep talking and explaining, but what is the procedure? If I get harassed, who am I taking this thing to? Who are these people accountable to? What is the way forward? It's tiring.
The funny thing is the police won't even get to the rich people's kids or the people in power because they have a way of identifying themselves.
So, Omar, do you think there should be a body that you can go to for complaints against the police?
I think there already is.
It's just not active. See,
no, it's not.
Anybody you want to set up in this country, you think we should have, we have it. The question is, are they working?
And these police people, can't they see that they're causing more havoc than pain? Who is in charge of the police body? Before you send a bunch of men to the streets to police the civilians, who is in charge of them? Have they been trained?
They have become so bad that people even fake being a police or a SAS official or EFCC official. That's how bad they have become, and they have no one to blame but themselves because they have the bad eggs and their system.
And the vice president is saying, because I feel like that's our president. I'm not even going to.
No, but the last information we got from Buhari, and he said the result from the committee is being handled so very soon.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Moving on, we have a man who has boldly asked Nollywood superstar Genevieve Nnaji out on Twitter.
Hashtag shoot your shot season.
Exactly. As of the last time I checked, she hadn't responded. I don't know if she has now, yeah?
She has?
Because I know, because I saw something I don't know.
She responded with an emoji, like a flower and something of that sort. Yeah. She just posted the flower and everybody just felt. And everybody just felt. And the guy came out to complain like hours later to say all these notifications and yet no Genevieve. And I'm like, don't worry. So, and people are actually rooting for him. I think that's a bold move.
People loved his boldness and the way he was very respectful about this. And I actually admired that too. But I mean, we have conversations where people come out to say, oh, this one is expensive, this woman is this. When you're telling them to shoot their shots now, you're not telling them to shoot where their hand will reach and where they can cover. When you get to Genevieve now, she tells you she wants to eat lunch in a restaurant.
You see, that's the problem.
No, wait, let me make my point.
Let
me make my point. You said you want to take her for lunch. Are you going to take her to one on the side of the road?
I'll break my bank to take Genevieve for lunch.
Oh, you will?
I'll borrow money to take Genevieve for lunch.
How often will you keep breaking this bank?
No, I'm just saying, like, the first date is just about the first impression. Genevieve is not the type of person.
All I'm saying is, you're making the first impression. I don't know if you just, if all he wants is to take her for a date, that's fine. But all I'm talking about is those that are shooting their shots and he's telling them aim high, shoot the right shot. When you shoot that shot and you realize that this person you are shooting also has like a standard bill of 100K for my hair every month, I hope you won't wake up and say, oh, this one is, she's not wife material. So when you're shooting your shots, please shoot according to your pocket. Don't overshoot it. That's all I have to say. I'm not attacking this guy. I mean, we all love
No, I think she's attacking somebody.
No, I'm not attacking anyone in particular. I'm just saying shoot wisely.
Yeah, okay, what I wanted to ask is, all this is fair and good, but did you detect any element of sincerity, or this is all for clout?
I feel like there's an element of sincerity in what he did. I kind of feel
Omar, what do you think?
I think so. So I don't think everything is about clout. I think that sometimes, even if you're your tweet gets attention doesn't mean that that was the intention of it. And this clout thing, we need to slow down because people are going to react. Me getting a reaction from something I've done doesn't mean that I was seeking that reaction. It's just the normal way of life.
But seriously, do you not think it's far-fetched? Like she's saying, you know, we don't know where your economic level, and then
okay, so I'm not about that life at all. I'm not in support of that lifestyle, that mentality, that trail of thought at all. That the person has to be in a specific class for them to be able to.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm talking about is the conversation that has happened over and over again on this same Twitter that we're talking about.
By the way, what like some of the
you're saying that someone about hair and all about stuff like she doesn't mean that she needs the man to be doing all that.
She doesn't need that. That's what I'm saying. You're not even getting where I'm coming from. I am saying I'm still questioning his sincerity because like some of the people have suggested that if he was really sincere that he should have DM'd her to wait for a response.
No, a DM.
Why
do you know how many DMs she gets?
In your DMs?
Sorry?
Do you know how many DMs she gets? Do you know how many
and it's public display of affection.
This is like
cute.
So you're already displaying affection publicly.
Exactly.
That's the whole
point to get her attention.
I think I'm with Elsie on this.
Well, I think I'm with Ife on this one.
The two Ifes against.
It's just that's the whole point. He's saying that look, I find you attractive, and I want the whole world to see that.
Then you see
I mean, nobody called me
mentality.
to Genevieve. I don't think it's that serious. Like it's not that serious.
And you see that mentality of you have to be in a certain class to be able to shoot your shot.
Whether you like it or not, I mean,
no, it's not whether you like it or not.
I'm telling you what happens.
I'm saying that this is what maybe Ife is saying this because maybe Ife is saying this because she's lived in the Western world.
Oh, I haven't.
Wait, no, I'm coming to you. I'm coming to the both of you as well. And I know you guys know about what it means to go Dutch when you go on a date, which doesn't really happen often in Nigeria. A lady expects you to pay all the bills, but
it's wrong.
Yeah, I believe out there they'll be like, oh, let's pay the bill. I'm paying for my food.
No, the thing is, if you believe in going Dutch when you go on a date, right? Also ask people that believe in the same Dutch thing where you're taking them out for a date. I do not believe in that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I do not.
Guys,
so the man is supposed to pay all your bills.
And then you come out and
your own money. What happens with your own money?
It depends on what I want to use my money to do for him. Do you know if I want to shower him gifts and all that? Let me do what I want to do. If I decide to take you out on a date too, I will also pay for the bills because I called you up to say I'm taking you on a date. I don't need the Dutch thing to happen.
Elsie, but the minute you start to, let me just finish my sorry. The minute you start to attach responsibility to the gender is a problem. If you and I go on a date and both of us want to do 50-50, or you want,
that's part of the patriarchal pressure we're talking about.
Exactly. Because
I think that's one of the reasons I don't want to be called a feminist. If you're taking me out on a date, please, you're paying for the bills. I'm sorry.
Especially in cases where, like, some women, especially in cases where the man has some kind of intention for marriage. If, like, you guys are having a platonic relationship.
See, I'm not saying there's any. You're missing our point. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with the man paying. If the man has the capacity to do that, yes. But the mentality that he is supposed to.
I know, and that's what I'm saying, that it befalls a lot of women that are here in this country, and you can't change anything.
Let's talk about a lot of women that are married to men that are not even on their level.
Exactly.
In the first place. Let's talk about people like Wendy Williams and Kevin Hunter. Let's talk about Beyonce and Jay-Z. Let's talk about Rihanna.
I mean, which is why there's something called alimony, where they tell you that if you're going on a divorce, whether you are the man that has more money or the woman that has more money, you have to help the other person.
Exactly. So you're not
backtracking. Telling you that there is always going to be a case of whoever has it more is going to spend more.
So why can't he shoot a shot for Genevieve? If Genevieve has more, she can take care of them.
Otherwise, we're not going to have time to discuss our next story, which is another very interesting topic. Atlanta Housewives star who takes daughter to a strip club. So this happened recently, and there's been a lot of backlash, and a lot of people have been complaining. But he gave his own side of the story, saying, you know, it makes them bond or something along those lines. But it's interesting to see the reactions and everything. But I don't know what you guys think.
I see a lot of people are naive and very ignorant about certain situations because, first of all, this is a grown woman. She's 22 years of age. Without a dad, she can go to a strip club. And it's not illegal to be in a strip club. And if we're talking about culture, maybe in Africa, we can be talking about that. But over there, I'm surprised that some people are actually backlashing, like, oh, look at where you're taking a 22-year-old girl. Do you even know what
clubs here too, though.
yeah, I know, and it's something that I think it's cool if your daughter balls that way, for you to be able to bond with her better, to be on a level, for her to be able to open up to you, for you guys to have a connection, a better relationship. It's only right you do stuff you know she's into and you're both into, and we do it together. We have loads of fun. I don't care what the world thinks, as long as I'm happy with my daughter. That's all that counts.
Okay, it'll be interesting to hear what the women think.
Okay, I do not think it is wrong. I feel like it's an avenue for him to be, even if that's not her lifestyle. Like, I don't know if that's the way she lives, or if this is the first time he's just taking her there to experience a strip club. But I think it's better to open your children or your loved ones up to the world in a way that you can actually guide them as a parent and let them know that, okay, this is this side of the world and this is this side of the world, and they can make their own informed decision and how they want to live their life, you know. So I don't see anything wrong with it. She's not a child, she's 22, and he is her father. So I believe it's an avenue for them to have proper conversation, for them to talk about these things, talk about values, talk about choices, talk about so many things, and be able to align her the way he wants her to
It
think.
could even be a lesson. You don't want to be like her.
Or you want to be.
Or you want to be like her.
Yeah, it's a decision.
I think it's a very natural thing. I don't know why we're like that, and I personally try to make an effort to not be that way. Is that you feel like you have a right to impose your view, your standard. Your standard of righteousness on other people.
Religious people standard that they've not even really sat down to think about. They just type.
Yep. And I know that comes in majority from the religious people, but in general, human beings are just like that. And this is another example of that. Already, well, no matter what we want to say, even if it's 2019, people are still very skeptical about sex work and places like that that offer sexual services and all that stuff. So I know that it's controversial, and it would make a you know, an impulse on people. And then you see that it's father and daughter. That's not a dynamic that you see regularly going to clubs or strip clubs or anything like that. So I can understand people have a reaction, but to say that he's done something wrong, I disapprove. So I'm with you guys on that.
All right, time for a break. When we return, some more interesting stories. We won't be long before we're right back.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect them.
If you no talk, then go beat you.
Now 2,500 and they pay.
This is Tea Time, and we're moving on to our next story. It's on Nadia Mukami, who talks about how Diamond and the Zari split actually influenced her hit song. That story is up for conversation next. Okay, so Nadia says that it's not just about the story that she talked about. I think she was talking about a lot of couples who go through a lot of ups and downs, and that gave her inspiration to go ahead and write her hit song. But I don't know in terms of like, I know like what's his name now? Yeah, Diamond. It was a public relationship, but for you to say that that's where you got inspiration, I don't know. I'm a bit iffy on that, because I'm like, if they're reading it, what's their view going to be like? And like for you to...
Okay, that's not exactly what she said, because the blogs are trying to, of course, do what they do, sensationalize it. Okay. So what she said is, she was talking generally, like you said, about that it's a song that tells about two lovers who started together, but they got wealth and fame, and then the man shook his head. Like, she was just talking about the struggles of starting from scratch, and then things got better, but the relationship couldn't stand the test of time. Then the presenter or the host of the show now said, is it like Diamond and Zari? And she now said, no, it is not entirely about them. She cannot say it's about them, but yeah, they've gone through something like that, but it's about couples that are going through things like that. So, of course,
that makes so much sense now. Yeah.
Thank
you for clarifying that. Okay, so the two Ifes, your reactions?
Well, regardless, the fact that she admitted to it that, okay, the case of Diamond and Zari is similar to what the message is passing across in a song. So I think, yeah, you can still take excerpts from that and still put one and twos together and make a valid point out of it. Because if you know the timeline of Diamond and Zari, you would know the relationship timeline. You would know that, okay, these are two people, a very successful woman, got married to an upcoming artist or had kids for an upcoming artist. The artist became really big, had his own money, and then you guys had a public fallout, and yeah, it was a very messy breakup.
And the alleged relationship with P Square.
Yeah, with Peter of P Square. So I think, yeah, and that's just about a month ago. It just came out to open another can of worms. Like, the relationship has been off since 2018, but you're coming out to talk about it now, like, oh, she cheated and everything, and she's come out to defend it as well. So with this girl saying this, I can understand where she's coming from, because that's a perfect example for the message she's passing across in the song.
Okay. Oh my.
I think I'll just go off the back of what Ife has said. I think there's nothing wrong with getting inspiration from people. Everybody does that on a daily basis. And then you have such a prominent relationship that was public. So it was everybody's business. I don't think she's done anything drastic.
Okay. All right, let's move on to our next story now. It's on Apostle Suleman, who says any voice telling you to challenge your husband is from a spiritual husband. Okay, so when I saw this, I thought it was really serious as well, but I also found out later that he said, I don't know if it was damage control or if it was sincere. He said it was joking. Yes, so I really don't know if he was serious from the get-go, and then when he saw the reactions, decided that it was a joke.
What's that saying when they say, even in your joking, there's an element of truth in it.
Exactly. Yes. So that's what you feel.
That's what I feel.
Because I was thinking, I was like,
there's no way. Even if I was like sleeping, I could never come up with a joke like that.
Exactly.
So it still shows, even in your line, your thinking, your thought process on the view of marriage.
The Bible, because what the Bible says is, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So I've summed it up with.
Pretty much.
All right then. If you were going to say.
No, I can't. I lost
my train of thought. Okay.
No.
I lost my train of thought on that sport.
Okay,
don't worry, I have another train moving. I have another train moving.
Go on, Elsie.
So, off the back of this, I think it's damage control, like you guys said. Like, he's just saying that now, but in the real sense of it, obviously, he was trying to pass across, or maybe think some people would tap from that anointing and be like, yes,
is it anointing?
Like, I'm not going to. And then a lot of people are saying, oh, this is the problem we have. Like, this is a new generation women, and the fact that we want to challenge words.
If that size just say like
no, that's the backlash
I know
he's getting. And people are like, this is a new generation women. You can't tell us not to challenge our husband.
I think it makes your heart bleed.
I've just heard this speech a lot, a lot, and it's sad when they say, oh, the new generation of women, there's a high rate of divorce and all these things, and that we're not learning how to be steadfast in suffering, because, you know, suffering should be our middle name and all of that stuff. And I think people, first of all, it makes me realize that Nigerians, I'm just going to say Nigerians because I don't know about any other African country, but Nigerians don't even understand history. And the reason why women stayed back then was because they didn't have a choice. It was more economical than anything else. If you wanted to survive or have a chance to fight in this world, you needed to be married.
As a family.
As a family. Yeah. And now women have the choice to say, okay, I'm not keeping up with your, you know, your problems. I'm out. They didn't have that choice. So
and then, you know, you also said when it kicks you out, your spirit husband will not pay for your apartment. And women came like, look, we have the money to pay for our apartments ourselves now. We don't need a man. So if I decide to leave a relationship, I can afford to pay for my own apartment.
Thank you very much, but we have only 1 minute left, and I want Elsie to...
they were making points now. I don't understand you, Tokumbo. But I think I just want to read out
That is your spirit husband challenge.
I don't want to read out a tweet. That's so very interesting tweet. This one says, any voice telling a man to hit his wife or challenging him should be the voice of a spiritual wife from the pit of hell. Spirit wives are never companions. I think that's all I want to say.
Okay.
And that tweet is from @Lomon_.
Okay, and I think on that note, I think that's where we're going to wrap up on Tea Time today. Join us this afternoon, though, for a brand new episode of the program. So if you want to get updated on the latest entertainment stories, join us then. Until then, a big thank you to Elsie Godwin, Ife Oshunkeye, Ife Omai, the production team as well. I'm Tokumbo Taiwo saying thanks for watching. Have yourself a good morning.